Yo, Grant here. Welcome back to Smoov. Today we're going over get ups and get downs, and we're going to start with the Turkish get up. I do want to show you a few different things that you can use. Typically, the Turkish get up is done with a kettlebell. I'm going to start with that, but I do want to show you a regression or a modification that you can do with the hacky sack. And then the Death Star slam ball is actually a little bit harder. So there's some options there, and know that you can get creative and do this stuff with anything. We're gonna play around with some different get-ups and just some task-oriented stuff so you can play around with your movement. So first things first, I'm going to set up with the bell on the right side of my body, and I'm gonna lay down on the ground, rolling towards the bell. I've got one hand scooping into the bell, the other hand on top. I'm gonna hug close to the bell and then roll. So I've got the bell racked right here safely. Now all I have to do from this point is press that up, and see, I can do that with both hands. So I can find that stable position, and then I'm gonna bend my right leg and extend my left leg. And I'm gonna do this at a bit of an angle here. I'll show you in just a sec. Then I'm gonna extend my left arm out to the side. And this is where some people can kind of focus on this sit-up action. I want you to focus more on a roll to the forearm. And then from that point, you're gonna continue to press up through the bell, come up on that hand. There is an option to extend through the hips. I kind of like to just sweep the leg back and come into this windmill position. And then from this point, I'm gonna come into this half kneeling position. Then I'm gonna stand up. I just got up. Coming down, I'm going to drop back down to the knee, externally rotate that hip, place the hand down, so now I'm in that windmill position. I can kick or sit that leg through. Again, if you wanna add that extension, you can do that. Sit down. You can slide that hand out, find that forearm support, and then roll back into that starting position. You can lower down and roll over. I'm gonna walk you through one more rep on the left side of my body from this angle. So same thing goes, we wanna set up this way because eventually, this is a 12 kilo bell, that's a 20 kilo bell. I wanna work my way up to lifting heavier weights, so that setup is gonna be something we wanna focus on. All right, so hugging the bell, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna press up. I've got this left leg bent. I've got that right leg extended. Right arm comes out to the side. I'm gonna roll onto that forearm support, pressing up through the bell, pressing through the hand. I can extend those hips, sweep that leg back. I'm gonna frame up, stand tall. I'm gonna reverse that. Strong through the press. Lunging back with that right leg. Externally rotate, coming back through that windmill. Kick the leg through. Sitting down, extending that arm out to forearm support. And then rolling back down into that starting position. Lower to the chest, roll to the side. Boom, there you go. That's your Turkish get up. That get up can be pretty tough, especially with some weight. I do like it with some weight, but something that we can do just to get the movement down and work through those steps is to use the hacky sack. Surprise, surprise. All right, so this one, you don't necessarily have to set up the same way, but maybe you wanna go through that. Instead of holding the bag, for this particular one, we wanna work on a little balance. It's not gonna be super tough, but what you're gonna do is you're going to roll, extend that leg out, arm out, and now it's like I'm holding a bell, right? I've got this nice stack from my shoulder all the way up through that wrist and into the knuckles. So now I'm gonna look at the bag, roll onto the forearm, come up onto the hand, extend those hips, sweep the leg back, frame up, stand tall. All right, coming back down. External rotation, hand comes down, extend through, lower, forearm, and all the way down. I can just switch over to the other side. Same deal, roll under the forearm, continue to press through the bag, boom. We got it done with the hacky sack. And before we go into some other things here, I want to show you with the Death Star Slam Ball. I think this is about 25 pounds. I'm not really sure, but there's sand in it. It's going to move around a little bit, and it's pretty tough to balance. So something I can do, I will show you, right? With one side here, switch those legs, my bad, something felt wrong there. Roll onto that forearm support, coming up. Now I'm gonna run out of ceiling here, so I'm gonna lower into this position, and this is what I want you to see, right? So let's say going over the head with some sort of object like a sandbag, or something like that. Honestly, you could do this with the hacky sack too, is putting it into a different position. So I can still lower down to one knee, frame there, kick through, lower down, roll, coming back down. Maybe I switch over to the other side. That was awkward to start, but we figure it out. So in terms of those steps, we can really do whatever we want. And in terms of how we're supporting the weight, we can also do whatever we want. So do know that you have some options, and I encourage you to get creative with that. Now, something that you can do with the hacky sack is, let's say I've got it on my shoulder. I've got to respect this, right? This is my parrot. This is called the parrot stall, in case you weren't familiar, right? So now with this here, whatever I do with any sort of get up and get down, notice that I'm gonna have to cater to that, right? There's nothing wrong with kind of this compensation with this task at hand. So if I want to, let's say, come down to one knee, maybe down to both knees, coming down like this, up, out to the side, moving, right? I just lost it. So I'm gonna switch sides. Man, the parrot doesn't like this side. Same thing. If I'm just kind of moving with this, I've got to respect it. This can be movement. This can also be some get up and get down, or reverse right there. I'm losing you. Let me come back here. All right, sweet. So I've got that on the shoulder. I could also do the head. So let's say I'm balancing it a little bit more forward here. I like this because it gives me a little bit more extension through the body. Let's say I'm gonna go ahead and try to squat down, maybe cross the feet, coming down like this. Spin it up and around. A lot of different things you can do. I just want to show you the creativity with this. Same thing goes, let's say I'm gonna hit that open lunge. Plant the hand. Notice as I do this, I can't really hinge back as much, right? I might lose this here. We'll see. Oh, it feels like it's gonna drop. All right, it's okay. You're finding your limits with a particular stall point. Let's go. I know, I'm just picking random stuff now. All right, we're gonna go elbow pit here. Let's go this side. So if I were to try that same one, right, I've got to cater to this. Notice I'm curling a bit, changing the arm position, but it's staying stalled right there. So I can roll this down to the hand. Now I'm limiting myself to 3 limbs. I've got to adjust with what I'm doing to get up and get down. So you got some structure with the Turkish Get Up. Going through those steps is a great way to get used to getting up and down off the ground. And you've also got some play. You can play with different rack positions. So let's say I'm here, I'm gonna come into that shin box, extend through, step through, stand, come back down. And I'll make some more videos on these particular get-ups, but you can wash this back, start to explore, and know that there are no right or wrong answers. We're dealing with a task here, so it's really what you make it. That's all I've got for you in this video. Hope you had fun with it. Hope you have some cool new ideas for your workouts. Let me know how it went for you in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it with your friends. I'll see you next time. Stay smooth.